So how excited are you to premiere Immaculate here at South by Southwest?
This is fantastic. We've been pushing this boulder up a hill for longer than seems possible, and the result is just really special to me. The movie is really special. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Tell me about the film.
Okay, the film is about Sister Cecilia. She's a woman of faith who comes to Italy. She's trying to find herself. She's trying to find, why she was saved. She finds a lot more than she bargained for. Things take a very dark twist, and the movie's just kind of like a rocket sled to the end.
What movies inspired you to do this?
Okay, so we talked about Rosemary's Baby a lot. We talked about Michael Crichton's Coma. There's some other ones that I don't want to spoil, but Suspiria, The Devolves, Dark Waters. I think it's like a little Rosemary's Baby with a touch of Dark Waters. Suspiria.
How is Sydney Sweeney in the lead?
Sydney is great. Sydney goes fucking nuts. Wait till you guys see it at the end. I mean, the concern you have about working with an actor like her is that she's going to be protective about her image, her brand. She was fearless. She delivered a performance that shocked everybody involved and was constantly pushing the envelope. She wanted to go harder, she wanted to go darker, she wanted to go grosser. I am forever in her debt for being brave enough to do that.
That's a pitch. Thanks so much. Good meeting you. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah. How excited are you to premiere Immaculate here at South by Southwest?
I'm beyond excited. Being able to see this film with an audience, I just cannot wait to see the reaction.
So I was talking to the writer, and he said you wanted to just go as crazy as possible and keep going to the next level with all this. Is that true?
Yes, I like to push the boundaries.
Well, how did this challenge you like never before, especially because it is a dark psychological horror thriller?
Well, it was just, there was a lot of very raw, guttural experiences for my character to go through, and also producing it was just a whole new learning experience for me.
What was it like to produce the film?
I absolutely loved it. I felt like it was my baby. Being able to conceptualize it from the ground up with Andrew was incredible.
What makes Immaculate the perfect movie to premiere here at South by Southwest?
The people. I mean, I'm so excited for all the people to see it, and I'm like gushing. It's amazing.
What do you hope people take away after the premiere tonight? Because this is a nighttime premiere, and the fans are going to lose their minds.
I think that it's going to be a conversation piece at the end of the film. I don't want to put anything in anybody's minds. I want them to have their own thoughts and opinions.
How excited to premiere Immaculate? Like, why is South by the perfect place?
So last time I was here was in 2015 with a short film called Pink Grapefruit. It won the jury prize, and that really gave me the next. It gave me the confidence to for this next phase of my career. Honestly, like that's the audiences here are the best audiences in the world, and the fact that this movie's premiering in front of 1,300 maniacs here is just like, you can tell. My mind is, I'm so excited.
So genuine, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
All right, so what about Sydney? Like what makes her perfect in the lead as Sister Cecilia, and how does she go for it?
Well, this is an interesting role for her because if you see like her film like Reality, where she's, it's a very quiet, understated performance, and then you see her on Euphoria, which is like absolutely unhinged. This, you get all of it. You get that full arc of watching her go from this quiet, devout nun into this like basically feral creature covered head to toe in blood, screaming at the top of her lungs. And I'm just excited for audiences to see this performance because it's unreal.
What horror classics were the main inspiration for that?
Yeah, the main inspiration was Rosemary's Baby. What I love about that film is that it's very intimate, and you get very close to the character, but at the same time it has this sense of scope, this sense of, it's very cinematic. Also The Exorcist, because that's a film it's very classy, right? But you have this imagery that is unforgettable and so disturbing, and so we were trying to bring that sort of level of elegance to something that's also quite lurid.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Scott.
It's great to see you. All right, what about the music? Like, what what was your entry point to start formulating the music, the motifs, the score?
Right. So there had to be a certain amount of familiarity in terms of the ecclesiastic tones, but there had to be something very different. There's something specific about this sect of Catholicism, so I had to come up with something that would unnerve, make the unexpected happen. So
Unnerve is always effective.
yes, indeed. There's a lot of space, but there's a lot of weird stuff that happens. So
Now, do you draw your inspiration from like the atmosphere of the film, from maybe Sydney's performance? Like, what serves as like your the light bulb going off for you?
I mean, her performance in this is extraordinary. One of the first things that Mike showed me was the end sequence when they were shooting it. That was my beginning of my inspiration for this movie. When you see this movie, you'll understand why that was quite a crazy jumping off point, and was so inspiring. Like her performance is really what I hung my hat on for this one.
I cannot wait. As soon as I'm done with all this, I'm going into.
Right on. Awesome. Enjoy.
Really nice meeting you.
Nice to meet
all
you
the
too.
best.
Thank you.
Ben. Hey, how do you do? Scott, how excited are you to premiere Immaculate here?
I mean, I'm so excited. I have to say, I have to confess that I haven't seen the movie yet. This is going to be my first time. So I'm just wishing to see if what we made in the set is so special. I've heard many things about the movie. All of them are good, so I'm so excited of being here in this amazing city. So it looks like a perfect night.
Well, what struck you about the story?
Sorry?
What struck you about the story?
Well, there are many things. Of course, it's a very entertainment movie, but it also talks about many different things that I think are important nowadays. You know, there's a place full of nuns with just one man in charge of all these things. You know, he talks about feminism, about motherhood, about freedom. I mean, he talks about many things that interest me.
All right, finally, like, what do you, just based on what you know about it, making it and all that, what do you hope people take away from it tonight here at the premiere?
I mean, I'm so thrilled by, you know, how's going to be the reaction of the people. So I just want to hear them, you know, when you're in the theater. Normally I'm on the stage, and you can feel how the audience react, and it's always magical when you connect with the audience. So I hope the people will connect with the movie tonight. So let's see what happens.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you after the film. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
How excited to be here at South by Southwest for the premiere of Immaculate.
So much. It's very, it's beautiful. I mean, it's my first time in Texas, my first horror film, so I'm celebrating like 3 and 4 times.
How is this like the perfect place to premiere this movie?
I think because the energy is very pure, we're gonna ruin this energy with this horror film. I'm joking. I mean, it's a beautiful spot. It's a great festival. Everyone want to come here.
What can people expect from Immaculate?
I think that the film does exactly what it should do. But it's also very interesting the way he went into the humanity of the characters. And he's a very delicate and sweet person, the director Michael, and he's very smart, and I think he reached the right thing from the story. So it's a really beautiful film.
How about working with Sydney Sweeney as an actor and as a producer?
It was an honor. I followed her for years, and we texted each other, and there was an immediately empathy between us. She's a professional and a very good actress, so we worked beautifully together.
My name is Peter Hall. I'm one of the programmers here at South by Southwest, and it is my huge honor to bring back to the stage director Michael Mohan. And producer and star Sydney Sweeney. Writer Andrew Lobel. Álvaro Morte. And Benedetta Porcaroli. Porcaroli. Thank you very much for that reaction. When you and I have run into each other a couple times during this festival, and each time I've been telling you, like, how are you feeling about it? And you're like, a little nervous. I was like, it's going to play fucking huge, and you didn't seem to believe me. So I would like to very humbly say, told you so. Because I've been programming here at South by for years. When this film came in, the programming team immediately had a similar reaction here, and we all knew that this screening was going to be like a rock star performance.
Thank you. I can die now. I mean, I'm good. Yeah. Thank you. I mean.
And so my first question for you guys is how did this come together? How did you two come together on it in particular?
So Andrew dreamt up this crazy story. And 10 years ago, I auditioned for it. And they never ended up making the movie. And I could not stop thinking about it. Every year I would call my agents and ask them, who ended up booking that movie? Who made it? What happened to it? And I dreamt of making it myself. And so 10 years later, we're here and brought on Michael. Michael and I have worked together before on Everything Sucks and Voyeurs, and I could not trust anyone other than you to bring this to life, so thank you.
Thank you.
Was there a specific moment as your sort of career is rising where you're like, I want to get into producing A, and B, this is the one project? Like, what was that moment that it clicked for you?
I think I always knew that I wanted to be a bigger part of storytelling. Like, I love building my characters from the ground up, and being able to do that on a grander, more world-building scale is really, really fascinating to me. And there's so many just parts to creating what you see on screen. There's so many elements and people that come together that have to work and do their job to be able to even have an actor show up on set. And so being able to learn that process and be a part of creating that is such an amazing thing, and I'm loving it.
And when it came to reviving the script, one of the things that I love about this film is how strong the characters are, how well defined they are, even whether it's the lead or even every small role makes an impression. And I'm curious, what were the conversations with Andrew like when you were working on the script together and evolving it to what it is now?
Andrew and Mike were amazing together. I want to say thank you, first of all, for allowing me to randomly call you and say, hey, you have a script, can I have it?
I think I owe you thank you as well. I mean, both of you guys, it's been such an incredible collaboration.
Thank you. But Mike he finds the depth in characters that might be overlooked by some filmmakers. And I think that you really truly care about the characters in a story. Yes, we wanted you guys all to jump out of your seats and be hopefully horrified shitless, but you still cared about the story that we were telling. And I think that's like why I love old classic horror films. Like, there's still a story and characters and beautiful cinematography that I feel we've lost, and we wanted to give that back.
I mean, it is, I agree completely. It is an absolutely gorgeous film. Can you talk about the location work and the built-in production value that it all brings to the table?
I think first we have some serious members of our crew here. We don't have the time to go one by one, but if you worked on the film, Elijah, everybody, could you please stand up? Our production designer's here, our AD is here. Please stand up, stand up, stand up. Our cinematographer is here.
A huge round of applause.
The reason, thank you. Thank you all so fucking much. The reason this movie looks so great is because, a lot of the people that I've been collaborating with since, like Elijah, the cinematographer, he was my roommate in college. And so we've just been always trying to find ways to bring an unexpected level of beauty to things, that coupled with, Adam Reamer's incredible production design, and we also just wanted to make a nun movie that didn't look like any other nun movies too,
And I mean, was it always set where it ended up, or did you guys relocate? And how did things change once you landed on the locations?
Well, when Sydney auditioned, she was younger. The main character was younger. She was a teenager. The whole movie was set at a boarding school. And we kind of drew on Suspiria for some of the vibes there. It wasn't until years later that I think we really finally figured out what the movie needed to be. And you know, Mike and Sydney were integral in that. And we drew from an entirely different section of movies. We started looking at, you know, classic nunsploitation movies, The Devolves, Dark Waters. And suddenly the movie knew what it wanted to be at its core. And, you know, look, I'm not gonna say it wasn't hard, but it kind of wrote itself. You know, it just, you started to, the compass started to read true north in a way that felt right. And we had to work, you know, fast to get everything done. But it was, once the compass, you know, starts working, the process becomes a joy in a way that like other development just is not.
And for Álvaro and Benedetta, when you guys came on board, what were your initial impressions of the script? Were there any questions or concerns about how hardcore it gets? And how did you guide everyone on board?
Well, first of all, thank you everybody for being here, joining us. It's been like a dream being here. I know that I'm performing the bad guy, so maybe you don't love me now very much, but I love you, all of you. Thank you so much. So I received this call from my agent saying like, hey, Sweeney wants you to be in a movie with her. It's like, are you talking about the Sweeney that I think you're talking about? Yeah. Okay. We met like 2 weeks before that in Madrid, and they called me. For me, it was a yes from the beginning. I read the script, and I felt in love with it, and yeah, I'm so proud of being part of the movie because I know it was a dream that Sweeney has to make this movie, and I'm so happy of being part of this project and you know, to collaborate a little bit to make this dream come true.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what about you?
Thank you. Hi, I'm the good girl, so. Well, I was very excited when Michael and Sydney, when they called me, and everywhere there is a piece of cinema and talented person, I would love to join them. So it was an honor for me to be in this project. We shot in Rome, my city, so that was another reason to to be happy. So thank you, Michael and Sydney, for trusting me and give me this beautiful character in this beautiful film. I'm very proud to be here. Thank you very much.
And I mean, the horror goes so hard in this. I think a lot harder than the audience was expecting, particularly towards the end. And I'm curious, how do you keep things light on set on days when it is getting real hard?
It's easy. I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, half of it is really finicky. It's like at the end when like they're stabbing him in the neck. It's like, oh, Álvaro, the tube is going over here. Can you like hold it with your hand? You know, and it's not. It's
very technical.
Yeah, it's super technical. So it's always fun. And I don't know. I'm just a goofball. So it's.
Was there any particular moment or set piece that you were building up to and you knew was like the day that you got most excited about that one thing?
The last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes. Yeah, that was when I read Andrew's. When I read the first script where she was a student. When it ended, I was just like, no, I have this. I just had this vision for what that last 2 minutes would be, and then when we were on set and when we did the first take, I was like, this is exactly what was in my head. It's actually even better, and that's the take that's in the movie. Take one.
Well, how many takes did you actually do overall?
We did a couple safeties, but yeah, when we shot take one, and she literally, like, when you were breathing, she fogs up the lens for a bit, and then it dissipates, and it was like, oh, Couldn't have planned that.
I mean,
yeah.
it's such
Love
a
it.
powerful moment. Is it something that you had to strategize what day in the shooting schedule you were going to do it on? Did you do it on
No,
day
it's just
one?
the day the location was available.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty fucking ridiculous that you can pull that out. Like, oh, today's that day. I'm just going to
It's crazy.
drop
No,
this
no.
classic
You
moment.
you have no idea how crazy it is. Like she just goes into it, and then she'll deliver this crazy performance, and then I'll call cut, and she'll be like, okay, can we go again? What do you think? And it's the craziest thing. So anyway, yeah.
And for the costuming, I mean, obviously you're wearing a pregnancy belly of some kind, I'm assuming. But what was the rest of the wardrobe like? Was it fun to design what everything was going to look like?
It was a lot of fun. I had a little pouch inside that had candy, and reach in and have a snack in the middle of a take. It was great. No, but also the costumes were incredible.
You also spearheaded that, because she produced this, like she was there at all the, you hear about actors producing films and it's like they produced the film. No, she was like on the ground, scouting locations, doing all of that, and it was such a hectic shoot that you kind of took the lead in terms of giving feedback to the costume.
Like everything is
Yeah.
custom made. It's all just dreamt up. Not one single piece was store bought. Like everything was actually
Intentional.
handmade and very particular.
Yeah.
And doing that sort of actual, real producing, like that a lot of people who take producing credits do, what did you learn from that you were like, going forward, I'm doing this one thing on every project I do?
I learned so much on Immaculate. I mean, I was able to really get to know every department on set and understand their time, their value, what they need, and how I can help them be able to do a better job. And I now and I hope moving forward, be able to understand the mechanics of a set, how they work, what does the grips need, or transpo, like how can I help them, because it takes everybody. You can't just do it on your own. It's a collaboration.
And so we're almost out of time, but my last question, just selfishly, because this is such a fucking good horror movie and you guys are so good together, do you plan to make more horror movies?
I hope so. Should we? What do you guys think?
We've done a different genre every single thing we've done together, so who knows? Maybe it's a musical.
Immaculate is the kind of movie that is going to keep you up at night, and it's a good thing because we got more great content coming your way from South by Southwest 2024.